catching this broadcast, let me introduce myself. My name is Luke for Margaret. By profession, I operate as an executive trainer and a business operations strategist. Yes, I'm also a builder of builders, right? An enterprise builder. And that's by the way. So my mission is very simple. I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs find their true calling, build sustainable businesses, and scale their enterprise completely guilt-free. And now every Saturday at 10 a.m. we gather right here on Margaret Asah TV to have raw, practical, and deeply strategic conversation. We talk about the unglamorous mechanics of what it actually means, what it actually takes to build a vision that lasts. All right. And today's conversation is heavy because why is it heavy? It is heavy because it is one that every single builder, entrepreneur, professional, and marketplace builder really needs. Yeah, it is one conversation that everyone really needs. You need, every leader needs to hear. We are going into addressing part of this journey that people rarely celebrate. People don't really talk about this topic because it's not really popular out there in the marketplace. This topic is not popular. And now you are going to see what it really is, what I'm really saying, what Luke for Margaret is actually saying, because this is very critical in the marketplace. No one wants to celebrate the hidden moments. No one wants to celebrate the hidden seasons. No one wants to prepare for the day of promotion. No one wants to hear about that. We naturally celebrate the launches. We naturally celebrate the promotions, the exaltation, the stage. We naturally blend with those things. So the market loves. So what do they love? The market loves to celebrate results. We celebrate the multi-figure personalities, the people in the top-notch industries. We celebrate the promotions. We celebrate the prestigious awards and viral moments on social media. But we actually do not see that these things are the real root of how this big things we celebrate comes true, right? But very few people talk about the quiet. Monotonous discipline that actually engineer those highlights. We don't talk about what leads to that highlight, what actually leads to that place where people celebrate. We don't talk about it that much. No one wants to hear that you have not succeeded. No one wants to hear that you are still building. No one wants to hear about that. They just want to hear about the final stage. Yeah? About the final stage. So the title of today's conversation, today's masterclass is the Builders Series. Building consistently when nobody is watching. Who is ready to build that consistency when no one is watching? When there is no applaud, when there is no support, when there is no validation from no mentor, from nobody, right? Who is ready to build that momentum? We don't want to hear about that, right? So our topic today in this masterclass, we will be talking about the builder's discipline, how to build consistently when no one is watching. So we look at this thing. So before I lay out the operational framework today, I want us to actually know this, and I want to ask us a question that I need you to sit down with this question. I want you to sit down with this question. You can open up a plain sheet of paper, open up a clean page, and look at this question honestly and answer it. Who are you when no one is clapping for you? Now, this is that question, right? We don't usually hear every day. Who are you when no one is clapping for you? It is very, very important to know who you are, to know who you are at every stage in time. This is what helps you. It makes you not to shake in whatever situation you find yourself. So I will ask that question. Open to a fresh page, get a notebook, open to a fresh page, and write this down. Who are you when no one is clapping for you? Who are you when no one is clapping for you? Imelda, who are you when no one is clapping for you? Johnson, who are you when no one is seeing you, when no one is applauding you, when no one is seeing, right? Who are you when no one is clapping for you? Who are you when your post gets just 5 views? I'll take that again. Who are you when your post just gets 5 views or 2 likes? And worst case scenario, you don't even have a like at all. Who are you when no one comments? Who are you when the sales pipeline is dry and clients aren't calling? Who are you when it's just 1 view, when there is no view? Who are you with just 5 followers? Who are you when there is no client? Who are you when the sales pipeline are dry, no sales? Who are you when your platforms feels entirely invisible and nobody knows your name? Who are you? Because let me tell you a secret. That specific version of you, the one who exists in the quiet, nobody stage, is the exact same person who is actually designing your corporate future. That person who gets 1 views. Who are you? I asked the question, who are you when only 1 person likes your post? Who are you when there is no sales? Who are you when your platforms has no name, like no one knows you? Who are you with just no views? Who are you? That same person, that exact person that no one wants to know about, that same person is the one that keeps designing his or her corporate future. Now let's build. So we move to our first conversation this morning. The illusion of harvest. The illusion of harvest. What is the illusion of harvest? Let's address the first major bottleneck, the first major misconception about this. The illusion of harvest, right? Everybody loves results. I know we love growth. I know we love heights. Nobody loves the discipline, right? Everybody loves result, right? But nobody wants to be the discipline. And this is the point where we shrink, where we lack execution. Everybody loves results. Everybody wants to get it right, but no one wants the actual discipline. Nobody likes the discipline. Now I tell you, it is discipline that takes someone to where you see them, the result they get. It is discipline. They built on discipline. They built on discipline. They built on discipline. As humans, we are conditioned to love successful people. We look at massive engagements. We look at massive sales. This one is really making it. They are now big on social media. This person has 1 million followers, 5 million followers, 300,000 followers, 90,000 followers, 1 million followers. All right, we see these things. We are building, like, we are naturally, as humans, we are naturally conditioned to love the heights, to love those kinds of things, to love successful people. We naturally tend to love successful people. We look at massive, small running enterprises, businesses, the big names, we know them, or influential industry leaders, and we all at their scale. We want to be like them. We admire them. The big industry leaders, we want to be like them, right? But what we are actually saying, what we are actually admiring, in other words, what we are actually admiring is the tip of an iceberg. We have admired these people, but in other words, what we are actually admiring is the tip of an iceberg. We rarely look at the years. We don't want to see the years of building, the years it took them to build. We don't want to see how they got to where they got to. We just admire the front line. We just admire the present achievement, like what they are celebrated for. But we rarely look at the years of the repetitive, strategic, standard procedures they executed when they were entirely hidden from the market. We don't want to see those things. And the average people celebrate the harvest, while true builders celebrate the planting. The average builders celebrate the harvest, but true builders celebrate the planting. You must admire the planting. It is not only in the harvest. You see people at 5 years of their careers, 10 years of their careers, 30 years of their careers, 50 years of their careers, and suddenly we just want to be like them, and suddenly we just want to be them. Instead of taking our time, studying them, their frameworks, looking at how they did it, what were the strategies they took, what were the disciplines they built, what consistency do they stand on, what were the things they had to shift, what were the things they had to say no to, what were the places they didn't have to attend, what were the events they didn't have to attend just to stay focused, what made them to become who they are now, not suddenly wanting to be like them, not suddenly seeing that it can be done in just 1 year achievement, it can be done. No, it took years. These things takes time. They take time. The average people just want the harvest. But true builders, one of the signs to know if you are a builder is that you understand what it really took those people to get there. True builders celebrate the planting. They celebrate the planting. The average people chase public promotion. The average people chase public promotion, but true builders protect the season of preparation, whether you like it or not. There is simply a season of preparation. Do not neglect it. God has made it for everyone. You have it, I have mine, everyone has theirs. The big names today were not known 30, 50 years ago. No one knew them, but their achievement in those years in building consistently made them to become known today. So what makes you think that you can just start up now and suddenly get the same result that took them years to get? So true builders do not chase promotion, do not chase it prematurely, but instead they focus on protecting the season of preparation. Are you preparing, or you are just chasing when you are supposed to be building? Because most people in the market think sustainable success is built on raw natural talent. We think we can build on raw natural talent. You need to earn it. You need to build stamina. You need to train your talent. You need to mold it. Have you seen an athlete before? You see how they train. No matter the category of an athlete, whether it's a jumper, whether it's a runner, whether it's a player, a football player, whether it's someone who plays the basket, the tennis, whether it's a tennis player, whether it's a basketball player, whether it's a wrestler, whosoever you know or you've heard of or you've read of that is an athlete, whether an athlete of all time or not, all of them goes through training. Even the ones that were born with the special ability to run, those that were born with a special ability to score goals, whether with the one that has the special strength of a boxer, they all go through training. They carry the weight lift, they carry the dumbbell, they carry every instrument, every tool, every equipment for every part of their bodies. The same goes to a singer. A singer also owns the talent. That is how you separate those that are actually making it in that industry from those that are not. Right? You see that they own it. They train it. They train their voices. They stop taking some things. They stop drinking some things. You see them, they don't shout. You see them, there's how they sing. They work on their diction to be able to articulate, to be able to enunciate, to be able to flow through the dynamics of music. So to have a music ministry now, there are things that you must do to be able to be counted as one of them. To be an athlete, there are some things that would count, that would speak, that you'll be associated with, that you'll be identified with in order to become an athlete in any category. Whether you are a swimmer, there is always an exercise for you. Whether you are a runner, there is always an exercise for you. Or do you want to be a speaker? There is also an exercise for you. Public speakers, they have their own exercise. You want to be a teacher, they have their own exercise. You want to be coming live on Facebook, you want to be a digital strategist, you want to be a content creator, whatsoever path you want to take on social media. There are also trainings, there are also ways you can also practice on how to further on that career. So you don't just stand on natural talents alone. You don't just flow with natural talents alone. You build on it. You don't just chase it. So, because most people in the market think sustainable success is built on raw natural talent. They think sustainable success. You think those people you admire that have built sustainable businesses, they built it on normal grounds. They worked it out. But as an operations strategist and an enterprise builder, let me tell you what I have observed over the years. I've seen that talent might get you to an introduction. Talent will introduce you or open a door for you, but structural discipline is the only asset that determines whether you stay in the room. Structural discipline is the only asset that will determine your sustenance in that room. Now, natural talent will keep you, will introduce you, will open the door, but structural discipline will determine if you will last longer in the room or not. Let me bring this close to home. With a bit of personal reflection, there are many mornings where I don't even feel like I wake up and I don't necessarily feel like creating digital content. It happens, but I have to, and I had to realize something critical, that if I only build when if I only build when I'm only emotionally inspired, I will never build a sustainable enterprise. Now I quote, inspiration is a luxury, but consistency is a system. Consistency is a system that keeps running. Consistency is a system that keeps running. It keeps running. Consistency is a system that keeps running. But I have noticed also that I have to choose discipline over my temporary feelings, because my calling deserves operational consistency. My calling deserves an operational consistency and not a situational convenience. So this is it. This is what we are talking about. We need an operational consistency, because discipline is a system. Now this brings me to our second pillar. We'll be looking at motivation. What is the motivational trap? The motivation trap, because there is something we call motivation trap. Motivation is temporarily, but discipline is sustainable. Motivation is temporal, but discipline is sustainable. Discipline is always sustainable. Discipline is always sustainable. Discipline is always sustainable. Right now, so many professionals are completely stuck. Many professionals are completely stuck. Many professionals are completely stuck. Now, why are they completely stuck? Probably because they are waiting to feel motivated. If you are one of them, please desist from that. That's not a good route to take. That's not a good road to pass. Many professionals feel stuck because they were waiting to be motivated. They were waiting to be motivated. They are waiting for some emotional lightning, an emotional lightning bolt to strike before they build, before they launch, before they move, before they finish that business or proposal, before they finish that business proposal, before they build the business, before they launch it, before they create the frameworks or launch their programs. Here's the operational problem. Now let's look at what I am actually talking about. In this motivational trap, here is the operational problem. What is this operational problem? Why are professionals, why are leaders stuck? Now they are stuck because motivation is entirely emotional. I want you to know that motivation is highly emotional. It triggers you at that moment, and what if that motivation goes away? That means the emotions just start and end at that moment, right? What if something didn't happen? So how are you going to build it? How are you going to build it if you were moved by emotions? If you are moved by emotions, then you cannot sustain motivation. But discipline, on the other hand, is entirely intentional. It's when you know what you are doing and you take a step, you keep building. You don't allow anything to hinder that growth. You don't allow anything to stop it. You know the right place to build, you go to the right place, you make the right friends. Discipline tells you where to go, where not to go, when to come out, and you keep building. What to read today, and you keep knowing, never to stop. So discipline is entirely intentional, but motivation is emotional. Emotions happens like a wave. When it comes, it just blow away. But discipline is knowing the right thing to do at the right moment and doing them at the right time. Because feelings change by an hour. It changed by the hour. Your purpose does not change. Disciplines change by the hour, but your purpose stay the same. Your purpose does not change. Your purpose does not change, but feelings change by the hour. You discover that right now you want to eat, and the next moment you're no longer feeling hungry. The other moment you want to go out, and the next thing you said you no longer feel like going out. That is an emotion speaking. That is your feeling speaking. You can't, at that moment you can't decide. You don't know whether to go out or to stay inside. You're no longer feeling hungry. Okay, you don't want to eat rice. Now you want to make salad and eat. So it just changes like that. But discipline is intentional, right? If your business operations, your content creation workflow, or your divine assignment, it depends on how you feel. If it depends on how you feel when your alarm goes off, then your vision will eventually experience a complete operational drag and stop altogether automatically. If what you are supposed to do, if you're supposed to post a content, if you're supposed to write a book, if you're supposed to do this, if you're supposed to take the kids to their grandparents or something else, right? You're supposed to do something, write the proposal, write the letters, send it out. If they you continually depend on how you feel when you feel like, or when the alarm turns off, then you have completely started experiencing what I call the operational drag. And that experience is what makes everything stop working. Because amateur business owners will ask themselves, do I feel like doing this today? Amateur business owners will ask themselves, do I feel like doing this today? But true builders, intentional builders, disciplined builders look at their strategy and ask, what needs to be built today? What needs to be built today? True builders, leaders ask themselves this one question. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, or whatever the time they want to ask themselves the question. What needs to be built today? All right, mark that down. That is the massive mindset shift, because builders let their calendar rule their day instead of their mood. Builders let their calendars rule their day instead of their mood. What do you have by 2 p.m. today? What do you need to do? What is your calendar saying? What do you have to do by 6 p.m. today? What should you do? What are your non-negotiables? What should you be doing at this time? What should you be listening to at this time? What are the kind of things you want to be listening to? They let their calendars rule them by day by day. They do not relent. They do not shift. They don't let their emotions, they don't let their mood run their life. Now let's back this up with a timeless kingdom perspective, because when you study the blueprint of scriptures, the pattern is unshakable. What has happened and what will ever happen has happened before. So we see these things also in the scriptures, and they have unshakable patterns, right? The patterns are unshakable. They have unshakable patterns. So we are going to be looking at the private faithfulness, which is the direct prerequisite for public influence. Private faithfulness. Who are those people? The number one is, let's look at David. David, he was discovered because David wasn't discovered because he was going around campaigning and running ad campaigns to find a throne. No. Yet he was found because he was faithfully protecting the sheep. He was found because he was faithfully protecting the sheep. He was found because he was faithfully protecting the sheep. He was found because he was faithfully protecting a few sheep in the middle of a wilderness when no one was watching. That is David. He didn't run around, start he started chasing and campaigning for the throne. Yes, but he was faithful in a few sheep in the wilderness, and the throne came for him. And the second figure we are looking at is Joseph. We all know Joseph. He didn't get promoted to the prime minister's office because he demanded recognition, but he was promoted because he maintained a high executive standard when he was managing Potiphar's household, and he maintained that same standard when he was looked for, when he was locked in a prison. He maintained that high executive standard when he was locked. Even in prison, he didn't bring down his standards. Even in prison, he didn't let it down. But some of us, what we do when we get to some certain place, we forget ourselves. We remove the garment of who we are and take on the garment of who we are not, and start adjusting and start shrinking. But these people, they were who they were. In any place they go to, they maintain that standard. They stood their ground. Joseph is that story that we can also look at. So we look at Jesus. Even looking at Jesus, he spent 30 years in private preparation. Yes, the King of Kings, the King of Glory, he was preparing for 30 years, and aligning his craft, mastering his craft, and aligning his spirit just to stand on that day to hang on the cross. Yes, before he ever launched a single day of his ministry, he was building, he was inside, he was preparing. The strategy of the kingdom is clear. Yes, it's very clear. God will always develop your character privately before he expands your platform publicly. That is the equation. That is how it has been. So stop trying to skip the hidden season, and because your hidden season isn't a delay, it certainly isn't a delay. It isn't a wasted time. It is your operational training ground. If you cannot manage 5 subscribers with excellence, you have no business asking for 5,000. If you cannot manage 5 subscribers excellently, you have no business asking for 5,000 followers. Right? So the audit of the invisible moment, the audit of the invincible moment. Whether you realize it or not, you are building something every day. Whether you are reading one chapter every day, one verse every day, you are researching on that topic every day, you are definitely building something, whether you realize it or not. Now, the question isn't if you are building, but the question is what exactly are you building? That is the question. If you are opening your books and studying your industry every day, you are actually building a reserve of strategic wisdom, right? You are actually building something. If you're taking a step, you are building something. To ground this framework into your daily operations, starting on Monday morning, I want you to write down these 5 builder discipline to start building consistently from Monday, to start building onwards. I want you to write down these 5 builder discipline. Number 1, show up. Stop disappearing from the market just because your conversion rates are slow. Stop this, my God. Be faithfully building, because faithfulness is your primary currency. Faithfulness is your primary currency. Number 2, keep learning. Keep learning. Number 2, keep learning. Never allow your past experience or your degree to stop you from learning. Do not allow your degree to make you unteachable. The moment you stop being a student, your growth diminishes. Right? Number 3, finish what you start. Finish what you start. That is number 3. Finish what you start. The market doesn't pay for half-baked ideas or half-built projects or half-finished projects. Do not transform life. They do not transform life, because true impact is found in completion. So complete that thing. Complete that book. Complete that post. Do it this week, and you will see what you will become. Number 4, protect your routine. Your daily routine is the shield that protects your vision. Protect your daily routine. If you leave your growth to chance or your free time, it will never appear. It will never happen. If you leave your growth to chance, to any day, to whatever the year gives to you, by weather, you move and you don't walk towards what you should achieve for that day, it will not happen. That is it. So number 5, trust God's timing. Trust God's timing. True growth is organic. I would take that again. True growth is organic. In nature, the root system must grow deep into the dark soil before the fruit ever appears on the branch. Keep planting, keep watering, and stay anchored. Never underestimate what one single faithful day can become when it is repeated over months and years. So if today's masterclass helped you find clarity and made you realign with your operations, take action. Share the live stream, follow and turn on your notifications, comment right away. I am a builder. So thank you for today's live broadcast. Thank you for joining the conversation today. Until next time on the Builder series, please join us, share it, and remind a friend. You can head over to the link in the bio, and you will see the resources that are put out for you that will help you move from being stuck to achieving your greatest promotion. So thank you. This is Luke for Margaret. I help high impact, purpose-driven entrepreneurs find their calling, build sustainable business operations, and scale their businesses guilt-free. Thank you for joining us.